Okay, this video is going to be on the Undertaker, much like my last one, kind of opening up the Hell's Gate on possible WrestleMania opponents for the Undertaker, and whether it being this year, it's more of a dream match for the Undertaker, matches that I personally would love to see happen at the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania, whether it be 28 or quite possibly 30 if he can make it that far. But a lot of people are already jumping the ship on, this is the last WrestleMania. He's going to end it at 20-0. But, the possible opponents are, I made a little list containing of about 8 guys. And any one of these guys, I think, some more than others would be a very interesting opponent for The Undertaker. So starting off with Chris Jericho, who just made his return last week. I personally thought that it would be like a Triple H and Undertaker build-up from last year, where they had Undertaker come back and Triple H interrupt him, which kind of sets up the match. But WrestleMania being about 4 months away, I think it would be too early to do that. But in one way or another, I think having Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year would be a good way for The Undertaker to go out and for building Chris Jericho's legacy better and bigger than it already has. Next, Daniel Bryan. Now this is a dream match for me because I think Daniel Bryan and Undertaker can have one hell of a match. Daniel Bryan proving that he is not just that indie reject, that indie guy who just made it big time. He makes other people look good while making himself look good. He puts on matches. Put it simple, he took The Miz to an awesome match at Night of Champions and won the United States title. That right there shows that, Daniel Bryan is the real deal. And I think having a match with him and Undertaker can it will exceed everyone's limits because people, I think, haven't seen the real Daniel Bryan and what he can do, and having him in a heel role would even make things more amazing. So that's another dream match. Next would be Sheamus. Having Sheamus now as a face could be a little weird, but having him as a heel against the Undertaker, two big guys. Sheamus knows you can call him a ring general in some sort. I think him and Undertaker can have a match where it's like comparable to maybe a Diesel and Undertaker, or a big guy. Sheamus isn't little; he's a pretty big fella. And but I just think the story building up to it, having Sheamus being the guy who could possibly break the streak, I think could make for an interesting match. Next, I think is the most anticipated match would be Undertaker and Sting. Everyone thought it would be last year, but come wrong. They did offer Sting a contract and Sting rejected. But one day, I think I don't even have to say much, but Undertaker and Sting pretty much speaks for itself. And next, Brock Lesnar. Talked about it in my last video. Just seeing Brock come back and face The Undertaker in a high caliber match, that's just money just waiting to be made right there. Next, Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of my favorite matches of all time is from Rock Bottom in Vancouver. Undertaker versus Stone Cold in a Buried Alive match. And that feud pretty much defined, along with Rock and Austin, the Attitude Era. And I think that these guys they haven't faced at WrestleMania, but I think it would be a good match. I don't know about now, but just to see them in the ring together again would just be awesome. Next, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle can't have a bad match with anybody. So I think it's more of the fact, they had their match at No Way Out. It was awesome. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it was one of my favorite matches also by Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. And I just think that would just be magic. Absolute magic for those two to get together in the ring. And last, Hulk Hogan. Yes, I said Hulk Hogan because you have the biggest star from TNA, well, the biggest whatever, jump back to WWE just to face The Undertaker. Just the story alone would be like, wow, Hulkamania's come back to end the streak, brother. You have Undertaker here, has been dominant. And how many times have we really seen an Undertaker and Hulk Hogan feud really prolong a long time? They had their match at Tuesday in Texas. Undertaker I think he beat Hogan for the belt, I believe. And but other than that, there hasn't been a feud where it's like in the golden age. I mean, in the '80s and early '90s, I know they had their thing in when Undertaker was a champion. But other than that, it's not. God, that's annoying. They haven't had their match where it's like for all the beans. And yeah, that's mine. Leave your guys' thoughts. I'm sure everyone has their own opinion on who should be Undertaker's opponent for the very last WrestleMania. Who knows how many more years Undertaker has in him. But that's all for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.